Hello, this is Lisa Hazard and Misty Lore with We're All Psychic. And today we have a couple of return guests with us. There's a packed room of four. We've only done this for the Halloween episode. We have Ryan and we have Sam.
Hello.
And they are back. Say hello, Sam.
Hello.
Ryan went ahead and did it.
I did.
He steps forward, takes the motion. So, Misty, why don't you ask Ryan the question? I'll ask Sam the question at the same time.
Okay.
On the count of three. Right. 1, 2, 3. Sam, do you think we're all psychic?
Absolutely.
Okay, go again.
No.
No.
Oh, you stole it.
I had to. No, I've heard your other a lot of, I think most of your episodes actually, and I think one of the most perfect answers is yes, but I think that there's people out there with their mindset and personality that it'll never happen unless they make the conscious effort to
believe
in it.
Oh my gosh,
But I do believe everybody can.
When I missed when we had you on the podcast, but I did listen to it, and I was just telling Lisa, I was like, oh my gosh, everything that he said is like coming out of my brain. It was crazy. I was like, that's exactly how I think, and that's exactly how I feel, and so I hate that I missed that one, but I guess we'll make up for it today.
I was you. See, I said it. The exact same thing. So
it came into my head.
Exactly. It was like
you were there in spirit.
You were.
It was like you weren't gone.
I was wondering what was wrong with me that day.
Yeah, if you got mine. Yeah, sorry about that.
And Sam, we had fun the last podcast too. Sam is awesome as well.
Yeah,
I had a great time. Thank you for having me and having me back again.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming back. Yeah. So, audience, listeners, we don't really have a subject. We just thought we'd catch up with our recent guests from about a month or two ago. And Ryan was our Stranger Danger episode, and because he was the first unknown person that I did a podcast with. And then Sam was Manifestation. We did a Manifestation podcast. If you had listened to those, then you will recognize their voices. If you have not, then you definitely should listen to them.
And that's how we manifested this episode.
We did manifest it. It's just magic. It's magic.
This is like manifesting $1 million. So.
So Sam, do you want to expand on your answer of we're all psychic as of today?
I think it just falls in line with what I talk a lot about on my podcast, which is to never limit yourself. As soon as you believe one way, you put a block on expanding your belief. And so if someone, like you had mentioned earlier, if you don't believe you could be psychic or that individual could be psychic, they're not going to be. But even if you are psychic or a medium or whatever your gift is, you can still limit yourself from expanding that even into more possibilities for yourself. So it's just always never limiting yourself.
I think that's the subject. Limitations.
You know what?
And are they
there? That's the perfect subject. Let me tell you what, Sam. I was thinking the same thing because I was talking to my friend on the phone, and I haven't talked to her in a while, and we think a lot of the same ways. It's scary, I know. But she was telling me today, she said, I know I've got the psychic ability in me, but I just don't know how to use it. I don't know how to open it up. And you know what she said? She said, I believe that, my son was reincarnated, as my dad in another life. And she was telling me all this stuff, and she said, I just know it. I know it. And I said, that's it right there. There is your psychic ability. You know it. You already are using it.
Yeah.
And so that's so perfect for the day. So perfect.
But it's hard, and I understand and can relate to her not like realizing her abilities or feeling like you can't tap into them, because I experienced that myself 17 years ago. I had my abilities completely unlocked. That door was wide open, And then I let a few teenager friends do what they do best and humiliate you. And I closed the door and I can't figure out how to open it again. But if I talk to someone, like I talked to Lisa off the episode once, and she was telling me some tips and advice and helping me see some things that I didn't realize were my abilities. And it's a struggle to like that discernment and to figure it all out. I can relate.
I think
Yeah.
I think one of the issues that I find is that, I've had several times, well, quite a few times actually since the episode I did last, and really trying to get myself to, okay, I know that, with telepathy, it's like I might sit there and be like, all of a sudden a thought comes into my head. I may be talking to somebody and I'm just like, That's not something that I would think." I was thinking about Cheetos, and all of a sudden something else popped into my head. And there has been probably at least 4 or 5 times where I've asked the person I was talking to, is like, were you thinking about this? And they'd be like, yeah, actually I was. So it's one of those things.
How's that going?
Well,
and you're recognizing it though.
Yeah.
That's good.
but the problem is, the conundrum I have is that it's like the harder you try to be, like, for me, it's like I'm trying to fine tune it or really try to work on it. It seems like it's going away from me that much further. So instead of
can
like
understand
trying
that.
hard to figure it out, to work on it, it seems like it's more like you really just need to relax and let it
Yeah.
happen more than chase it down.
Yeah, and kind of observe it when it happens
Yeah.
afterward or
And
at the
so
time. Yeah.
and so it's tough to, and there's times where I've been like, am I just going crazy? Is this legit, or am I just imagining this, or
Right.
is it not
Self-doubt.
anything? Yeah, it's
Yes,
self-doubt. Then it's like, no, you gotta get rid of that thought, and you've got to keep doing what you're doing. And since last time, I have found that, I think I've told at least Lisa and Sam about, I do have a spirit that is in my house. And it started with, for me with just a vibe that I got, just that tingling sensation and that thought of, something just doesn't seem right. Well, then my stepson's room is right next to our storage room. Well, the lights were coming on by themselves and their pull chain. So I usually take that as a little bit more than just, back in the old day, they had those touch lamps, so it's like, okay. But he said he could actually hear the pull chain pull, and he could see the light come on, and he could hear like shuffling. And like, I had a king size mattress just last week, king size mattress that we had leaned up against the wall. And 2 nights in a row, we had lifted it up. And this is one of those kind of flimsy ones, so it takes a little bit to push it over. 2 nights in a row, we came back down the next day, and it's on the floor. So
You've been
it's like,
having some activity.
yeah. So it was like, but that was the first time that happened, was the day after that I learned from my other psychic friend of what it was and who it was. And so I meditated and tried to connect it. Well, when I meditated, like, I just got that full body tingle, which usually only happens when I take a pee every once in a while.
Tell us about that feeling, Ryan.
That is which time?
You know how to describe it. Just
it goes everywhere. Oh wait. Well, it's one of those things.
Put the seat down.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right.
So I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know if you can really describe it more than just a tingle, but it's like a surge of electricity almost, or just, it's enough to make you stop and think. It's enough to make you go, wait a second.
Yeah, for me, a lot of people who practice witchcraft, when I'm around them, they have a crackle, like this crackling feeling. Do you know what I'm talking about, either of you guys? It's a crackle. I don't know how to explain it.
So for me on this one, it was like, I felt like I connected to him. I think, Lisa, I had talked to you about it, I think. And it's like, it felt like I did get a connection. Well, then my aunt just passed away a couple of nights ago, 3 nights ago, 4 nights ago, from COVID. And so when I had gotten home, I was kind of thinking about it, and I kind of made it meditate a little bit, and told the spirit that was in the house, explained what was going on, and all of a sudden I get this full body tingle again. And that full body tingle is not something that I get unless it's like, I know it sounds, as a male, I hate to say this, but I'm watching a romantic movie a love story and something cool or good happens and you get that tingle like, oh, that's great. That's a good thing. That's the same feeling I get.
I call those tingles my spidey senses.
And that's
yeah, I like that.
so, and that's in a way, yes, it is validation. And that is good. It's just, and I've come up with a couple of different theories on maybe doing meditation differently, maybe trying it with my eyes open. And then, I can do really good with, it seems like I can do good with either having a completely blank mind when I meditate, or it's like it just goes crazy. Like there's just a lot of different things popping up. So to me, I was like, well, maybe I'm not meant to have a blank mind and have stuff pop in there. Maybe I'm supposed to try to find a way to guide those crazy thoughts into something that is whatever it means. Maybe that's the case.
That's cool.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I was so excited when you had messaged me with that realization, Ryan, because it's something that I'm going to bring up on my podcast episode about not limiting yourself, because I've made several podcast episodes about manifesting meditation and how it's all about clearing out your mind. But you have this new realization, and I cannot wait to tell my listeners, like, see, I don't want to limit myself. And look at what Ryan realized, that is a possibility of how to do it. This is something new, and we should all embrace it and give it a try.
Well, and I think that, and like for me, a lot.
Yeah,
For
that's
once,
a great
for
example.
once in
Good
my
example.
life.
I like the pee example better of it.
Yeah. I mean, we can't get
It's
that
a feeling you
anywhere
never
else, so,
forget,
yeah.
especially if you had to clean it up afterwards. But I
Yes.
do feel like it's, don't, like you said, don't limit yourself to, I've got to meditate like this. I've got to have a blank mind. I've got to have my eyes closed. I mean, it's like there's a lot of times where I zone off, eyes wide open, and I'll see, I'll daydream as wide as my caveman face can be, my eyes wide open, and I'm completely out of it. So it's like, don't limit yourself to, you have to do this a certain way.
Yeah. I've heard
Oh
of
yeah.
people doing it walking too. Like I thought that was
Yeah,
crazy, but yeah, people
absolutely.
meditate while they walk.
I've been
right
everybody's
now.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that a full body shiver?
I have heard before, when you are listening to
to
someone speak and you intently really just focus on what they're saying and give them a true undivided attention, that's a form of meditation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
I
and
think that sounds
somebody,
about right.
I was listening to an episode of somebody else's podcast yesterday, I think it was, and they said that you don't realize it, but even listening to a podcast such as this and really listening to it, it's still opening your mind and putting the whole abilities and spirituality and intentions into your life, basically. If you read a book, which I don't do, you just, anything you do like that will help you and open your mind even more. I mean, I will say there's still some things that I have a hard time with, and I'm not saying I completely don't believe in them. They're not for me. So I just don't, and I had a nice, lovely discussion with my mother, who has been a pretty good practicing Catholic for all 64 of her years. So, yeah, so we like to have good conversations every once in a while, but usually consistent.
Mother son.
No. Just be well, because what was it I said? It was something to do with crap. I'm trying to remember, but it was something that was kind of it was something that she had made her not believe in it. I think I said something about how, Lisa, you were telling me about something about the spirit that was, here, and my other friend telling me what was here. And she just like, I just don't, and it's like, well, yeah. And I'm just like, you can't tell me. It's like, it is real. It's not limited to having to have somebody here, at the house doing it. It's like, it's everything's connected. And in trying to get her closed mind, which I would say she's more of like a scientific mind, that she believes, obviously, the Virgin Mary, and she believed. And I said, well, it's like, if you can believe that the Eucharist is the actual blood of Christ, then you should believe anything that I tell you when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And she just kind of,
Right.
well, you,
I agree.
It's kind of
well,
hard. That's an interesting distinction because that's the enormous Catholic Church is like tells the Catholics to believe this, and this is
Always been
reality. Every
around.
religion has that. This is how
Yeah.
it is made. This is how the
and I
God's
don't know
order
how
God works.
Very
I don't know how you
limiting.
feel about
Oh
religion, but
yeah.
I don't like
Yeah.
religion, and I felt like I was forced pretty much my whole life to follow their rules, and I just never liked it. I just never got anything out of
Yep.
it, and I feel like, and I told her, it's like, the more you pressure me to do this, the more chance that once I'm out of your house, I'm done. And it's pretty much what happened. And like, she's like, I just don't
Oh,
get it.
I've
And I'm
seen
like,
that so many times.
I think if you force
I
somebody
can't
into
tell
that,
you.
then it's not going to end well. But if somebody goes on their own spiritual journey, then to me, that's custom fitted to that person. And I think that they'll get more out of it, more
Yeah.
benefits by having their own custom journey than going and sitting at mass
Yeah.
and doing that. But that,
Well,
and I know I'm not arguing with everybody else, but that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Well, every religion can't be wrong or right. It
And
just
it's too bad
doesn't
everybody
typically
that's
go
in their
that way.
religion thinks differently.
So I just say take it out of the
But
equation.
I find that, and I did tell her, it's like, look, it's like, I would like to, learn whatever gifts I may have, advance them as far as I can, or keep on trying to do better and better until I pass away. But it's like, I want to help people. I was like, I would absolutely love to be able
Yeah.
to be the person that can console somebody that maybe just lost somebody and be like, look, here's the deal. I don't know you from anybody else, but this is what I'm seeing. Can you validate that? And have them leave there feeling like I'm okay with
Right.
them having passed on.
Right.
I have always felt like I was meant to help people. Uh, Even when I worked law enforcement, I cared more
Yeah.
about helping people and staying after the call 30 minutes to talk to them just to make sure that they were all right, more than arresting
Right.
somebody or writing a speeding ticket or
Mhm.
whatever else. It never appealed to me. And a lot of chauvinistic assholes that I worked with. But it's just like, I just feel like I
Yeah.
love to talk to people, and I love to know that, hey, this person feels better and is
Yeah.
doing better. And because I know a lot of my life I've had to, I've needed that from people myself. So I just kind of feel like it's my thing.
Misty, you didn't go away, did you?
Yes. No, I'm here.
You haven't
Okay.
fallen and you
I'm
can't get up,
here.
right?
I'm still. You're
It is
seeing my
okay.
ceiling,
It's
and
it's
that's
cool ceiling. It
okay
looks like my
because I'm
ceiling, except
still.
mine's dirty.
You like my
Those are
little
cool. Your swirlers
hanging
are
things
rad.
on there, my little swirlies, and then there's my fan
Don't
going
you wish
round
you
and
could see,
round.
audience?
But anyway,
This is what we do in Alabama. We sit and look
yes,
at the fan.
yes,
It does go
I know,
round and
and
round,
it goes
or
round
unless
and
it
round.
doesn't, and it's just stopped.
Yes, but like what Ryan was saying, his calling basically, he feels
Yeah,
like
mine
he
is
needs to
too.
help somebody no matter what he's doing in his life, and I feel the same way about that as well, and I would be happy doing it for the rest of my life, as long as I'm not asking for like a ton of money,
Right.
but you have to live. You have to
Right.
live somehow, so
You
yeah.
know, just to make a note on that, Misty, I agree. That's something that I am personally struggling in my life right now, where I have all these things that I'm working for, all these goals to achieve. And it all starts with me wanting to help people.
Yeah.
But then you get involved in okay, but I still need to pay my bills. And then it's hard to not fight that battle of going back and forth with I need money by doing this and I need to help people. Sometimes you lose sight of one or the other, and it's finding that
Yes,
balance and
that
holding
line.
on to that true core feeling of, okay, I got to remember I'm doing this to
I
help
think one
people,
thing with
you know.
like
Yes.
manifesting and maybe living your life correctly, and knowing that you're on the right path, is that, like, my wife and I when we first got together, and for the longest time, money was always an issue. It was always tight. I pay child support. Now it's going up again. Hey. But but it's
Oh
we've
no.
but over the years, every time that we've come across a period where we didn't have money or we didn't have enough or whatever it was, like, I mean, I can't even tell you how many times it's like, I don't have enough gas in my car to make it to work and back, and we don't get paid until 4 days from now. Well, then, like, she goes looking around in a old drawer or a jacket in the closet and finds like a $20 bill. And every time that we have a situation like that,
Yeah.
and it may not mean that, hey, I got a scratch off lottery ticket and I won $1,000. It may mean, hey, I was able to go to the bank, and even with shitty credit, I was able to get a loan to pay this off, and now we're okay until next year or whatever it may be. So I think it's one of those
The
things that if
perspective. Yeah.
if you're
Oh
living if
yeah.
you're living right
Yeah.
and you're doing right, you'll be
Yeah.
taken care of. And it may not mean you win $1 million, but
Yeah.
you'll
You
survive.
that's a
Yes.
very good point.
And following where you're being led to, I have a pretty neat story in regards to that very specifically. It was many years ago, and I was a manager at a department store, a clothing store. Anyways, one of the employees asked me to do face painting at her church's carnival because I'm very artistic. And I wanted to volunteer my time. I said, no, I don't want you to pay me. No, I don't want you to pay me. Well, when the time came, I was in a position where I had $0. And I was worried about, okay, if I drove to and from that carnival all weekend, I won't have gas for work the next week. And I also don't have food in the cupboards right now. I have the bare minimums, like some noodles, maybe
I
make
mean, I
some
used to
butter
do
noodles.
balsamic vinegar
If you've
and
ever been in
mayonnaise
that
and salt and
position,
pepper and
Yes.
noodles.
Yes. Yes.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Many ways.
And not only that, but I had a tail light out, and I knew it'd be really risky to do extra drivings, but I really felt that urge to go do face painting because they've never had someone at their church carnival that could do amazing face painting. And I just wanted to do it for the kids. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it because I feel that need. I want to help. I said I would. I'm doing it. And so the first night on the way there, I got pulled over for the tail light, but instead of giving me a ticket, I was given a coupon for a free tail light.
That's
So
That's
that was taken care of.
Yeah.
Was it you, Ryan?
I don't think you came through here, did you? 'Cause
And then no,
That's
no, I
awesome.
was still in Minnesota. Anyways, and then all weekend I was there, she insisted on paying for all of my meals and buying me meals. She wouldn't take no for an answer since I
Yeah.
was volunteering my time. So there was my food. And then when I got to work on Monday, I don't remember the reason for getting a gift card, but you know how when you work for a store and the store gives you gift cards for either winning a contest or doing a good job, they always give you a gift card to the store that you work at. Well, for some random reason, the HR guy was like, for whatever reason, I can't find our gift cards. They're just gone. So I stopped at the gas station and I hope it's okay that I'm giving you this as a gift card. I'm like, well, there's my gas money. Like I did what I was led to do and what I knew I wanted to do. And I helped, and Spirit took care of everything for me.
I
And
love that.
That's awesome.
I
I
think
love
the
telling
one
that
thing that
story.
has helped me over the last several months is I've naturally been a deeply internal angry person that, it's, and the way I am, unfortunately, is that if, the day that somebody takes me to the point where I get in a fight, it's going to be bad. So I've been working over the last couple months to really just
Yeah.
soothe that and just be done
Let
with
all
it.
that anger
And I've
out.
done a really good job, and I think that it goes along with, kind of the perspective on things. And a couple stories, kind of like Sam had, was, like my grandma and grandpa were farmers. My grandpa worked for Mormon Feed and Seed. They didn't have a lot of money by any means, and they had bought some eggs off of somebody, And my grandma was like, well, how are we gonna, pay for these eggs? And you're talking about back in the 60s, probably 50s, 60s, how are we gonna, not very much. Well, she had been teaching catechism classes at the church, and they had never paid her ever. It was voluntary. And like all of a sudden, like she gets an envelope in the mail from the church, and it was a check for her doing the catechism classes. And it was like pretty much exactly for the same amount of money as the eggs were.
Oh.
So then you've
Nice.
got also a time where they went to mass and they had taken a collection. They said this is going to go for towards a family that we feel needs it. So my grandma and grandpa put money into it. Hey, let's see if we can help them out. Well, come to find out, the money was going to them. They thought that my grandma and grandpa
That's
needed
awesome.
this money, and they were just kind of looking at each other. But that's the perspective. They were like, "Oh, somebody needs help. That they don't have enough, so we're going to help too." And then come to find out, it was they. And
I
so it was
love
just.
that.
But my grandma said, she always gave money every week to church, and she's like, "I'm always taken care of, no matter." If it's something small, if it's big, we always find a way to get through it. And that's kind of what, it's kind of perspective. It's, if you think you're having a shitty day, yeah, it may be shitty, but you can change it a lot of times by perspective. And I think that's the mindset that you have to change if you want to maybe advance your abilities, if you want to discover abilities. You've got to free your mind of anger and negativity and the bullshit and the stress and
And
all
also,
that.
like that kind of
Yes.
return isn't always linear in time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it may be so ironic. It's obvious something's going on, but for example, when I was in high school, I went. I think I just started driving. I went to a gas station to get some gas, and a little kid couldn't get his lollipop. I think I was 16, so I bought his lollipop, and I was all proud of myself. I did a good deed. And I started driving down the road, and then I got pulled over by a policeman. And he was not nice. He was not nice, and he gave me a
Ryan,
ticket. No, I
stop.
would not compare Ryan to this police officer.
Same.
He was very scary, and he said things that he should not have said to a 16-year-old girl. But I felt really bad after that, and I thought about
Aw.
it. I was picking my mom up at the airport. I was going to pick her up, and I was thinking about it. I was like, well, this is where my perspective starts changing a little bit, because I'm like, well, I can't do something expecting something good to come of it right away. I mean, if I expect a return on something good that I do, then I'm going to be disappointed a lot.
Yeah.
It kind of comes back when you need it. It's kind of what
Right.
I
Sure.
figured
Yeah.
out. And it's like, in back in college,
Yeah.
we all share beer. Everybody who has the beer this weekend, who has the drinks, we go to their place and drink. And then the next weekend, sometime eventually we would have my roommate and I would have the money to have the beer, or we'd have the 21-year-old getting the beer for us, and yeah, nice,
No, that's
natty,
giving. Yes,
that was it,
Lisa,
yeah.
that's
It's called
giving.
charity.
It is charity, natural light charity.
Yeah.
And so those things came back around because we were in a little group where we were all making sure we stayed drunk when we were broke.
That's where your real friends are at.
Right.
Yeah, we did. We
Right.
sure did.
And y'all
Yeah,
got through
got through
it.
the beer too together. Yeah.
Together.
And no,
That kind of stuff happens.
I'm
Yeah. I've always had stuff like that happen. Always. And I love it. I love it. But I don't expect it either. But I love it.
well,
I
it's
just get giddy
we
over it.
had it was something I had our Christmas, since we didn't have a Christmas party this year for our company, where they gave away gifts. I mean, like $10,000 worth of gifts. And it's just like, holy crap. Well, it ain't,
That's
obviously it was a
nice.
raffle drawing, and you always have your hopes up that you're going to win something, but going through it, and it gets down to where there's like one gift left, and you're just like, yeah, it's not going to happen. Well, I was irritated at first because I'm just not one that wins anything. So, but it really did kind of change my perspective, because I was just like, I really don't need anything. And if there's somebody that won something that maybe needs to pick me up in life, that maybe makes them feel better, maybe changes their attitude a little bit, then maybe it's better that they win it than me. And so, for me, it was just kind of like, yeah, I'm good
Right.
with what I've got. I mean, they were giving away like 3 or 4 70-inch TVs, which would be fantastic, but it's like, I've already got I've already got enough TVs. I've got an extra one in my little studio. I've got one sitting in a garage. I mean, I was like, I don't need a TV. So to me, it's like it's a lot about perspective. It's all about mindset. And I think it does come down to it. It ends up helping you in the long run if you want to develop these things. And right now, in the last years, really sparked this journey for me. And then I'd say in the last, I don't know, Sam, when did I first message you? Like 6 months ago or so, 5, 6 months ago,
Um,
something like that. And it was kind of right before that I
yeah, that sounds right.
really got back into feeling like this was getting pulled towards it. So in the last 2 months, it's been even
Yes.
more. And, it just kind of feels like more and more that, I'm getting pulled into it. And it's good though, because if I felt like I was getting pushed away from it, that would be shitty. So exactly. And I
Then
and
you
I
wouldn't be
and I
talking to us right
enjoy
now.
because it's not something I can really talk to anybody really because nobody's into
It's
it
a
that
hard
way.
thing to find people to talk to about once you finally do. Like I have finally, it's like all you talk
Oh, it's
about.
so
It's like, let's
fun.
do cards. Let's talk about
Yes.
juju. Let's make a potion. Let's do stuff. You know,
Right?
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Like a lot of
Yes.
people,
Yeah.
you know,
But how do
like
we do
something that's
this?
come
How
up
do
a
we do
lot on the
that?
podcast,
Yeah.
especially it's coming up today. It's like focusing on it and trying to build it, your magic or your psychic side. But most people I know who work with work with energy, or they do some kind of crafting, or they play music, they do some kind of art work, and I find that they can like express themselves throughout whatever medium they craft or work on. Like it could be audio, it could be actually painting, or like I make jewelry, and piddle around with a lot of stuff. I can't stand my
You do
hands just sitting
everything.
there. My hands can't
Yeah.
sit because I will do
Lisa does
something I shouldn't
everything.
do, you know?
Oh, I
Yeah.
can totally
And
relate
I
to
feel like
that. Yes.
that's a really good method for people to bring out their energy side, is to start a new craft of some sort, if make baking, or yeah, some kind of artistic
Writing or
craft of some
whatever.
sort. And it's something that can, because you have to imagine what you're doing before you do it. You have to put all your imagination into making this bracelet or this ring, that's inner space. I mean, that's the place you're going to when you're using your energy, is your imagination. So while you're crafting and learning the skill of it, you're learning how to make something you conceptualized, which is a lot like doing psychic energy work. So I think, like, if anyone
It
listening
is. It is.
is wanting to try and is struggling with that, that's one way you can try to open up your energy a little bit more. Do something you already know how to do, and try to just let go and think of it that way, or just enjoy it like you usually do. But afterwards, sit back, maybe, yeah, look at the way you
Use
used
your
it, and that's
imagination. Yeah.
energy work. That is what it is, and
Well,
it's
there's
to me, it's the best expression of it. Yeah, it's
see,
like my
I
Yeah, that's
I
a
favorite
used to
great
be
way.
way to
able to.
start.
I was in band a
Yeah.
long time ago, and I played saxophone, and I didn't understand all of it. Maybe I just didn't care enough, but I love music, period. And one song that I usually meditate to that I absolutely is just very soothing is that Song of the Banshees, I think it's called.
Song of the Banshee.
Song of the Banshee. Yeah,
I don't think I
look
know
it
that.
up. It's
Okay.
I don't know that
it's
one.
like the first name is Aine, and I can't remember this. I can
I will
send it
look
to you
that
guys.
up. Yeah.
But it's very soothing, very relaxing, and I also love Gregorian chants.
Oh, who doesn't
I
love a
I
Gregorian
I
chant?
absolutely love them, and I can't listen to them while I drive because I'll probably fall asleep. But I do find that really listening to it and just kind of trying to feel the music can definitely help put you in a better space to connect with something, open yourself up, to free your
Open yourself
mind
up.
from BS. And like this past week has been stressful at work, it's been stressful with other things, and I haven't really had much time to really, I think I've been kind of closed off this week to where I wasn't paying attention to anything
Me too.
spiritual.
I'm feeling some
So I
blockage
mean,
in my
but
life
it's one of
currently
those
as
like,
well.
for instance,
You know?
tomorrow is a Super Bowl. My Chiefs are in it again, uh, but one of the guys that works for me is taking Monday off. So that means I have to get up at like 2 o'clock in the morning from after watching the Super Bowl to go
Ew.
in. And I'm already mad about that because it's like, I've been having to flip back and forth and going in early to have my normal time. And it's exhausting.
That sounds exhausting.
I'm not as much of a spring chicken as I used to be. And so it's like, so it's just been, and that guy makes work stressful anyway. And I do my best to just be like, it'll get taken care of, but I'm not gonna let myself go off. I'm not gonna let myself, it's not gonna ruin my day, and that's, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are just like, that guy
It's
pissed
hard
me
to
off
do.
and that's
I
it. I'm
need
done
that
for the day. I'm
compassion.
mad.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, I've really been working hard at just
Mhm.
being like, you know what, that's,
You don't have to go to bed pissed. You can
yeah,
you can just brush it off and flick it
Right.
away like a booger. Yeah,
And
it's
maybe
true.
there's
It's
a good
true.
reason for it. You
Yeah.
And
know,
it can
maybe
be
there's a
hard
really good
when
reason.
you're used to being angry. It can be hard. I used to be a very angry person, and people around me would never know because it was never like I lashed out at anybody. I was just angry with life and angry with everything. And it was a very internal thing. And the moment I decided that I didn't want to be angry anymore, it took me probably an entire year to get used to the idea of not wanting to be
Right.
angry
Right.
because it was my comfort zone and I loved it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
loved being angry. And then it
Yeah.
took another year after that to fully come into who I am now, where I come from a place of compassion for everything, regardless of the situation or person or
My place
circumstances.
was always very
It's a good place to
sad.
be,
I
isn't
didn't
it?
have anger. I hate anger.
It is.
But I was very sad all the time until I realized it. I had a choice. I kind of had a choice. Nothing was wrong in my life anymore. And at the point I realized I didn't have to be sad, and it's just like, it was an uncomfortable feeling, to just like be happy and just experience things and enjoy myself without dwelling on the somewhere negative, saddening, kind of disheartening parts of whatever I'm experiencing, which is what I used to do. It wasn't comfortable. Wasn't it kind of uncomfortable for you, Sam, when you're going like trying to not be like live that anger?
it's
Is
like
it's
your
just
body, it's like your soul
discomfort?
rejects it almost.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's kind of like that.
definitely.
So it's just still making me just like kind of twitch thinking about it.
Hmm. Well, you know what I think? I think that I try to put everything into perspective and think at it like this. You know what? I'm running late today. I can't find my keys. Everything's going wrong that morning, and I just have to stop and tell myself, you know what? There's a reason why I'm supposed to be late today. I don't know why that reason is. Maybe there's going to be a car wreck and I don't need to be involved in it. How
Right.
many of us have seen a car wreck happen in front of them and said, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that should have been me? Like,
Right.
yeah, there's a reason for everything. And once you start looking at it that way, it becomes a lot easier to deal with anything that comes at you in a positive light, because you can make that,
Yeah.
decision and do a better one of thinking, that way of thinking.
I like that. Yeah.
Right.
See, and
Interesting it.
I've had
Yeah.
depression, severe depression, since I was like 13, 14 years old. And like, I was on Lexapro for quite a long time. And then, but starting once a couple of months ago, it's probably been 2 to 3 months, me actually starting this journey of, healing myself. I don't even think I've had one moment where I was like, I need to get back on my meds. It's just been,
That's truly amazing. Yeah.
it's
That's
just been,
awesome.
and it's,
Yeah.
oh, trust me,
I'm not that brave.
I've taken them and gotten off of them multiple times in my life, and it's never lasted this long without it. It's always been like, that was a mistake. And so now this is the first time that I ever really had to work really hard at, myself, and not just like, I working out, getting myself in better shape. Yeah, it helps me, but it's like, there's things like telling myself that I can't hate my exes like I want to,
Well,
just
good then.
because it's like no, it's like
Yeah.
I don't hate them. It's like I don't like them, but I don't hate them. I hate some of the things they do and some of the things they say, but I know that their lives in the past before me were traumatic and they
You
had
can
shit
see
happen to them.
what
And it's
shaped
like,
them.
and I know why they're like they are. And it's just, it sucks that they're the way they are now, but it's like, so I really, that's been extremely tough because they have made my life a living hell. But it's like, I feel better because, yeah, but I understand it. And
You
that's,
understand it.
and I've always defended my exes, even from my current wife, because I'm like, I'm going to be fair. He's like, I don't care if Satan came
Right.
and said, hey, this is a deal. And it's like, if he had a good point, I'd probably be like, yeah, he's got a point there, but that's just me. It's like, I want to be fair because I want people to be fair to me.
Yeah.
I don't want people to rush to judgment on something. I have
Yeah.
what I've been told is a serial killer face.
What? No, you
And
don't.
oh, trust me, I've smiled more just in this Zoom call than I probably did in 6 years
You
of
need
working.
to be on Zoom calls all the time.
Yeah, I know. Like, I would get told, it's like, they're like, you're so intimidating walking down the halls that they're actually frightened of you. And it's like, but I'm not anything. I'm just walking down the hall, going back to where I need to be. But what's
Yeah.
scarier? It's like this no expression look on my face, or me just having some fake smile.
Hey, buddy.
It's like,
Hey, buddy.
I
yeah,
have that
it's like,
problem.
Permanent smile.
Yeah, I have that problem. It's called resting bitch face.
Yeah.
Yes.
so I
as
have,
well.
I do, and
Yeah.
I'm 6'1". I'm 270 pounds or maybe just under. It's like, I'm a pretty big guy, and I don't know if you've ever, there's the old one of them
Oh, I see. The tattoo.
tattoos, and I've got, obviously others, but people look, and I've had moms take their kids to the next checkout lane in the grocery
You gotta be
store
kidding
and
me.
stuff like, and it's like, oh my God, it's like, I'm the guy that, it's like, I love puppies. My
The
cat
big teddy
jumps
bear.
up on my bed and I know exactly to put my arm out like this so he can lay down in the,
Yeah.
in my armpit. It's like I like romantic movies. I like love stories. I like, don't get me wrong, I like, psycho thrillers and all that stuff too. But it's like,
Manly stuff too.
but it's
Yeah.
like, I believe in soulmates. I believe in true love. I believe in all that stuff. And honestly is, I hate to say it, but it's something kind of men can't really open up and talk about all that much and
It sucks.
express themselves. Of course, most people don't say anything to me
Right.
because they're afraid I'm going to beat their ass. So
You
it's
better
kind of
not have
nice.
feelers.
What'd you say?
No feelings around me.
I felt that.
So,
Oh my gosh,
so
you need to be in a commercial. You need to be
well,
in
and
a
it's
commercial
and that,
for
but
that. I
like
swear. Men have feelings too.
my growing up with my mom and dad working the jobs they did and me wanting to be a cop, which was stupid because it's not a job for money, that's for sure. But if I'd have known how much I liked psychology
Yeah.
and the idea of being a counselor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist or something like that, it's like, I'm mad that I missed that opportunity back then. But I try to tell myself that, there's a reason
Me
for it.
too.
And even with having my exes that I
Yeah.
have, and I have 3 kids and each one has a different mom. That's not great. I'm the poster child for abstinence in America. I tell you, wait until marriage or never to have sex. But for me, it's, if it hadn't been for dealing with them the last however many years, it's like, who knows what my mindset would be. I may be a complete asshole. I
Right.
may be, I may be in worse shape than I am right now if I didn't have them in my life all these years.
True. That's a way to look at it. Let's talk about sporadic
Exactly.
limitations and
You may not have
perspective.
been
Right
led
there.
to
Exactly. So it's tough to
right.
it's tough to think positive about everything. And a lot of times I used to get annoyed by people that made everything positive or thought positive about it. And it's like, shut the fuck up. But now it's like, yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
you can sit there and it's okay. If something is shitty or you have a shitty day, it's okay to say, I had a shitty day. But once the next day gets there, it's
Or
like,
even
you
that
know
night.
what?
That night.
Tomorrow
Yeah,
will be
don't
better.
hold on to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You let it
Let
behind
that
you.
shit go. Play some
Yeah.
Xbox like I do. snuggle with the wife, whatever. Just get it out. And it's toxic.
And on that note, I
Right.
think I would love to wrap up this
It
podcast.
is.
And you guys, thank you so much for coming back. You don't know how much it means that you would actually want to. Yeah, it's really
Yes, it
cool.
was so
We'll have to do it again.
fun.
If you guys want, we could check up like each
Fun.
once a month or something like that and do a podcast, because Ryan and I
I
talked
I
about
might be
that.
game for that.
All right.
I would love
Yeah, that'd
that.
be awesome. And I just want to say to our listeners, thank you so much. I want to say thank you to our sponsor, Everclear, where you can find the advice you need to create the life you deserve. And Misty, of course, thank you always. And would y'all like to say goodbye?
Thank you.
No.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.